Hi, my name is Hayden Wadsworth, and my presentation is on the article called A Team Player. This article discusses an accountant that's in a supervisory position. Her name is Barbara, and an employee under her, and her name is Diane. Barbara's faced with an ethical dilemma when Diane reports to her that she discovered a discrepancy in a customer or a client's inventory that wasn't discovered when they did the physical inventory check. This discrepancy was minor. However, Diane did not want to report it up the chain to Barbara's boss. And this could be due to fear of being reprimanded, and maybe losing potential job promotions. For any reason, she didn't want it promoted up. This decision was brought in front of the group of employees, and 3 of the 4 employees agreed with Diane. They didn't want this issue to be moved up the chain of command and reported for a number of reasons. One being that they were already behind on the project and they didn't want the boss to come down and have them redo everything, putting them further behind. And they didn't want to rack up more billing hours because that would also make them look bad and possibly hurt them in the future in their careers. So they decided as a team that they weren't going to report this issue. Barbara, deep down, she knew what the correct thing to do was, what the honest and ethical decision would be, but she decided not to pursue it. And this situation can be viewed from from a few different perspectives, and I'm going to go over those in the next slide. So this goes over the model of moral development, and we can learn a lot from viewing the situation from this model. And at first glance, we can tell that Diane is in the pre-conventional stage just because she's very motivated by self-interest. She's not concerned about the group. She's not concerned about what is right or wrong. She's concerned about herself, which places her in the pre-conventional stage of the model. And then when we look at the group as a whole, they've moved on a little bit. They're more concerned as a whole, like what the outcomes are going to be for the group. They don't want the group to look bad, and they don't want the group to go over budget. So that's more of like a conventional. And then Barbara also falls into the conventional realm just because even though she knows what she should do and what the right thing is, she has decided to not escalate it and go with the group's decision and respect their decision. So she's also in the conventional state, the conventional stage. She hasn't moved on to the post-conventional. If she had, what's ethical and moral would outweigh all other factors, and she would have reported it up the chain. Next slide. So what should Barbara do? If I was her, the very first thing that I would do is I would use the evaluating questions that are in chapter 2. It goes through a number of items to consider when making an ethical decision. And after she's went through and evaluated each scenario, and I won't be going through each one for time's sake, but once she goes through and evaluates each one, it'll be really clear like what she needs to do and how she needs to go about it, who she needs to talk to, and how she can express herself clearly and help the group understand her point of view and help them make an ethical decision instead of her just making the decision for them. So firstly, she needs to meet with Diane, since she seems to kind of be the ringleader of the employees. She's the one that found the error, and she's kind of the one that has the most say and the most issues within the group right now. So she needs to meet with her and just go over, since she's in a managerial position, go over all the possible consequences. Just explain them very clearly. These are the consequences that could happen if if we don't report it, this is what could happen. But imagine the severe consequences that would happen if we didn't report it and and the client found out, or the boss found out anyways. The consequences would outweigh the other side out by a lot. So I think approaching Diane in this manner, she would be able to understand that reporting the issue now would be much better than trying to cover it up and dealing with the consequences then. And then once she addresses Diane, she can go ahead and address the rest of the group and kind of explain to them what they've decided and explain how she's going to report it up the chain, and it is her responsibility. She is the actor in this situation, and she has the responsibility to the client and to the firm to report this decision.